All right, guys, I did a test before this, so we're going to see if this live show is going to work tonight, coming to you through the power of the great, live chat through Google, which has, messed up the last 2, 3 times. So why not just give it another shot here? And I have a new phone, so anybody out there that wants to jump in the live chat, I should be able to see you now. I'm going to see if I have it up on my phone. Yep, and it looks like there's a little bit of a lag compared to me and you guys, to you and I. And but the audio sounds like it's working. So anyway, what we have here is I've been on YouTube for 10 years. A lot of new subscribers over the past year, last couple months especially. And I've been doing comic book videos on here and whatnot. This makes my 6th year. Now, before that, with the age of the internet, when broadband was actually barely becoming available where I lived, I had dial-up and stuff, I ran across this site here called comicboards.com. If you can see my arrow here, usually you get to a home page, and then you would have these categories to go into, and they've changed over the years. I probably played around on this board, this whole website, message board website, from 2002, and I want to say up to about 2008 or something like that, for quite a few years. And one of the first places I went to was the Superman message board. And some of the things I've noticed that's changed is that they have banners. Used to have banner contests, and you have moderators on this. And it seems like now they're using a lot of them. And it just amazes me because, 14 years later, since I've been on this, they still use the same format with the messaging and stuff. And people come on here. I still recognize the names. Granat is still here. Paste Pot Pete, Raven Meteor. I think I remember him. It just amazes me that a lot of these collectors are still on here at the message board. And much like the comic book community that grew here, a lot of these guys. Excuse me. Mike 015 is still here. He was the moderator for years when I was here, so that's awesome. But a lot of these guys would talk behind the scenes to each other, much like one of the first comic book communities I've seen. And what was amazing is if there's some trolls that popped up and stuff, the moderators pretty much squashed it and took care of it. So it really was low drama. So see if we got any viewers out there. Merc with the mouth, what's up, brother? And Jared Osborne, what's up, guys? Cool. Okay, so basically on these boards, what was really cool about these boards is Wizard Magazine kind of made people aware of it. And I was already on here. I would just play around with the internet when it was still dial-up, and I would just play around seeing what I could find, and I ran across these boards. Probably 6 months to a year later, I think Wizard kind of announced a few places on the internet you can go with chat rooms and message boards like this. But what was really cool about this is that the creators of the comics would actually pop in here, and a lot of them were regulars. On the Superman board, my son had a question. He was probably 5 or 6 at the time. And Kurt Busiek was dabbling in some Superman there, some books. And my son had a question about, can Superman shoot his heat vision with one eye closed? And we got in here and asked Kurt Busiek about it. And he actually responded and talked to my son after I told him, I explained to him it was my son asking. And he ended up doing a really, really nice and thorough answer about, yes, he can do it and why he would do it. My son got to go to school the next day and felt like a little bit of a big man from the way he was talking, told his friends he talked to the guy that writes Superman. Years later they actually had Superboy Prime sit there and use his heat vision with one eye in the story. And, my son, I showed it to my son, and he kind of chuckled because he remembered that. So there's a few other people that came on here a few times. And then right here, they don't have it anymore. But what they had was a Fourth World, Jack Kirby's Fourth World board that's not here. And Walt Simonson was a regular on that one. He would sit there and talk just like one of the fans, answer a few questions. And the way I found him was on this Golden, Silver Age, Bronze Age board that he popped up on every now and then. About She-Hulk number 50, which has some... I listed off all the creators that work on that book. That's She-Hulk, the sensational She-Hulk number 50. John Byrne's actual last issue on it, and talked about how Frank Miller was in there and Walt Simonson, Howard Chaykin, a few people, and Walt Simonson jumped on here and started, talking about how it was one of his, he had a blast doing those few pages that he did, and talked about some of the stuff behind there. Let me check the chat here. Thanks for hanging in, guys. I don't know how interesting you'll find this stuff. So on this message board here, this is the one where I found it, and it was just amazing. This is where I was able to just like unload a lot of stuff. Got into the Commandy talk again. That's the Commandy talk, the Jack Kirby, and all this thing. There's a lot of guys still here. This guy Rip Jagger, he's a big. If I remember, he's a big Charlton Comics fan, and I think he actually has a website. Like if you came to this board and clicked on his stuff, I think it would take you to his Charlton Comics website. And the man here who I'm glad to see still posting is this guy right here, Commander Benson. I didn't know a whole lot about Commander Benson, but he would kind of pop up and throw out trivia and answer questions. Like you could tell he was watching the boards and stuff. And then every now and then he would pop up my stuff and kind of expand on it or say something very astute, or he put out like trivia questions on there, and I'd come close to getting all the trivia questions in his posts and stuff. And he was like into citations and stuff. So after sort of, kind of talking to him over the years and stuff, one day I go out and I get a comics buyer's guide, and lo and behold, Commander Benson, turns out he's writing in the comics buyer's guide. I got a hold of him. I was like, I never knew. So he told me about some chat rooms that he participated in, and a lot of people have, accused me of having encyclopedic knowledge of comic books and knowing a lot of things and stuff. But Commander Benson and his crew, first of all, he really is a retired commander from the Navy. Second of all, he's on some other websites with his own articles and stuff, sections on those websites. But the message boards that I Google searched and found with Commander Benson on them is that he's part of a group of people who've taken the Silver Age of comics, and that's really what they focus on and all they knew. And they'll have these sparring sessions where they'll go through and they'll do the most uncanny, trivia. I don't know what you would call it, man, but they would sit there and they would do just one line from a comic book that could be anywhere from 1958 to like 1973. And they would come up with characters you didn't even know were in the backgrounds of comics. This big time Silver Age, intricate stuff, very detailed stuff in the background. And it was just fascinating to watch this and stuff. And it just kind of showed me that, like, there's always somebody bigger around the corner, no matter how much you think you know about anything. And what these guys were coming at, man, was just blowing my mind. And it was all factual. They'd pull out the comics and do a few things like that. Just great stuff. Really kind of made me up my game on reading my comics and stuff. Fascinating. Then you got guys like Kev, Agent of the Shadow. That's the Kev I'm thinking of. This guy's up in Canada. I think he's a music teacher. And he had some custom cedar drawers made for his comic books. And this guy had the most amazing collections of 50s monster comics. He has collected Fantastic Four all the way from annual number 3 all the way up into the 2000s. And that was just amazing. That's what he was famous for, and he'd post some pictures of those. And we would talk about space for your collection. And basically, once he fills his cedar chest up, his cedar drawers or whatever he had custom made, then he would pick through, see what to get rid of, and use that money to get more books and stuff. It was just amazing, the stuff he put on 50s monster books. We'd have amazing talks about Kirby and stuff. Great stuff. That Tim's going to take us back to when he used to write on cave walls about comics. Maybe with some crayons. I don't know. Maybe going back to when I had crayons when I was a kid. So these were just a bunch of great guys, and it's really cool to see Gernot, big time, still around, knows Norton. Amazes me that these guys are probably still talking to each other behind the scenes too, man, because we're going on like 14 years that I know of these guys being on here. And then there was like some really odd drama one time. I think, let's see if they have it here. This used to be split up between TV shows, TV board, then you also have the comics board. They used to have a Black Panther board, and whoever it was that was writing the Black Panther comic in the late 2000s actually got on that board, and he was the writer of the comic. And he was just blasting them, telling them how this site was shit, and he was telling them to come over to another site that he had. And they were trying to really talk. The moderators got on there, didn't know what to do. They were trying to talk him down and tell him he has a lot of fans here, and by all means, he can, inform them of where they can go. And this guy was just so abrasive and just so mean that you could just tell they just did not know what to do. And I used to like keep these banners and stuff that these people would make. The artwork, the creativity of this kind of community was just amazing, which kind of blows my mind that they would have 3 banners at a time. But I remember towards the end of my time on this comics board and stuff that the moderators would come out and ask people to slow down, sending them these banners that they would make, because they had a backload of where I think one site actually said they had almost, if they put up one a week, they had almost 3 years worth in the slow down. And this is also where people post news before, like I said, this is the days of still dial-up and stuff. So these guys would find news all over the place on the internet and post them in these message boards and then discuss what was going on. Kind of kept you out of the asinine comments and stuff that people may or may not make on sites like that. So we see the JSA here. I haven't been on here for a while. And yeah, we got some lovely artwork here. And yep, Legends of Tomorrow. I figured this board would be, jumping. Like I said, it just really blows my mind that they have the same format and the same people here. And Reverend Meteor, I remember him. Yeah, this is fantastic. Talking about Earth 2. So it's all by theme here, as you can see. Golden Age characters, Earth 2. So yeah, even with the comics and stuff, these sites have still stayed relevant. And it looks like they're still having some great discussions going on here. So this was kind of cool. Come back here. Let's see what else do they have here. DC Universe in general. Wow. Kind of wished I could have jumped on here during starting of Rebirth. All right, see what else we got here. Jared Osborne. As a Bronze Age kid, those Silver Age guys could really try my patience. They go on and on about how the comics I like sucked and the comics they like were great. Oh, you know what? And I actually remember that it was actually a conversation on here. So you're not alone, Jared. You're making remember some stuff that was going on. So there we go. DC Universe board. We have a Harley banner. It looks like a Wonder Woman cosplay banner. More Wonder Woman banner. New and improved. 3 banners for the price of 1. And nice. Yeah, they're still talking about comics, Deathstroke, Injustice, Aquaman. This is probably everything. Well, Legends of Tomorrow. It looks like it's just anything that could do with DC. Movies and TV shows, comics. Nice. Okay, so this is some cool stuff. The Uncanny Kyle Waka. Hi, everybody. All right. Waka? Yeah. I can see better on my new phone, so this is amazing. Okay, we got Transformers, Walking Dead, Villains, Wonder Woman, the X Universe. Is there one still left? Star Wars, Star Trek, Punisher. Yeah, the Star Wars, we got a movie coming out. Let's see what's going on here. They have Game of Thrones. Yeah, as you can see here, we got Star Force, Force Awakens as a banner. Nice. World premiere, Star Wars Force Awakens. Yeah, looks like they've embedded a video here, the world premiere for the Force Awakens. And we got nice little animation going on here. And yeah, as I thought it would be, it's yeah. We have Star Wars news here, Rogue One movie, some looks like they're doing some speculation. Animated series, they're talking about the comic books. Rest in peace, R2. Yeah, so yeah, basically these are all the guys, just anything, as you can tell, it's anything and everything to do with Star Wars. So here's a nice little place to have some calm talks and stuff. If you want to do this, Green Lantern, Hulk, the Indies, see what's on the indie board. Oh, well, whoops. Let's take a look at that banner. Yeah, so we have the Dark Horse Comics, IDW, Avatar, Image, Dynamite. And I'm sure this could include Boom Studios and a few other things. Looks like there's some rules they have put up. Use the honor system. Act honorably, systematically. Yep, Hellboy Universe. They're talking about Future Quest. After I get off here, I might jump on that one. I love Future Quest. Even though it's DC, apparently that is considered an indie book if they're talking about it on here. IDW, more Future Quest. Looks like this board is a little bit slow. A lot of these are dated and they go back to October. So maybe not. So as you can tell, it's like it used to be. Some boards pick up quicker than others. Some seem to be more active than others. But it really blows my mind. There's people who have been on here for 14 years, and they were here before I played around on there and stuff, man. So that's kind of cool. All right. Okay, guys. We used to laugh. Okay, here we go. Jared Osborne. We used to laugh at some of the gossip rumors that used to pop up on those boards. Yeah, I can't remember anything in particular, but I do kind of remember some. I remember some things popping up that people just kind of were laughing about. But the sad thing is that I think around issue with the DC 52, some of those things actually came true. I can't remember anything. Yeah, but I remember there's always kind of these weird rumors and stuff, kind of like rock stars. Somebody died. Paul is dead. Mr. Gretzky's here. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Cosmic Marvel, comic battles. Let's see what comic battles have been. Now that was one of the things with these message boards. They would tell everybody, do not post stuff about who could Superman beat up. Don't get into threads and discussions about who could beat up here. You can go to comic battles and do that here. They put it all on one board. So it looks like this week's topic of discussion is Juggernaut versus Drax the Destroyer with the Power Gem. Some nice little banners here. Hulk versus Thing, Superman versus Thor. And it looks like they're having tournaments. You know, I remember this. They used to have tournaments. They would set up something like, I don't know, sometimes it could be 12 heroes on one side and 12, characters, heroes on the other side. And each week they would have a round discussion who would win and why. And they'd get all the way down to who was the top of the list. Mr. Majestic taking on Jane Thor. World War Hulk taking on Dr. Fate. Iron Man versus Captain America, Iron Man versus Fantastic Four. Now, in the 90s, even Wizard picked up on this. There was a big discussion about Iron Man. Could Iron Man defeat the entire X-Men team with just his armor if he had time to prepare? And, man, that seems like, I remember in letter columns and on this message board, that was just an ongoing debate that just never died. Friday nights in the movies. Yeah, this is one of those things where they have tournaments and stuff. So it's kind of cool to go back and look at the older stuff and see where these tournaments went. Yeah, I didn't really hang around here too much and stuff because there was a little bit more arguing going on this one. Doctor Who. And then they just have the 80s and 90s. That's new. Mighty Mouse versus Underdog. Oh, man. And then Tarzan versus George of the Jungle. Man, I don't know how you did it, Estete, but you picked two that I don't want to have to choose. With Mighty Mouse versus Underdog, I want to lean towards Underdog, man, but Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse. Ugh. Like, pick it between your children. Jared Osborne. I remember the AOL message boards got big in the early to mid 90s for comics. See, I wasn't able to do those because we had the shitty little dial-up back then, and you could go to the community college to really experience that. And there was people in there all the time who were always saying they were working on, their papers. And you look over their shoulders, and they were just all over the place on the internet, sitting there taking 10, 15 minutes to just upload a picture of Terry Hatcher off of Superman, Lois and Clark back then, and Sonny. I remember a lot of people downloading pictures of Sonny from, wrestling, or the first supposed diva. But, they were doing papers. So, yeah, it was really hard to get on the internet way back then. 80s and 90s. This is amazing. Okay, so, Racer X, now comics, Neil Adams, Mr. T. Oh, yeah, now comics with their Married with Children comic, Topps Comics with Lady Rawhide, Mars Attacks, Xena. Yeah, Kirby's Secret Six stuff. Kirby's, oh man, what was the rest of that stuff? Yeah, Topps Comics with Jim Salyerkrupp being the editor came out with a whole lot of concepts about Kirby that Kirby had laying around the house or hadn't used in the past that the Kirby estate had allowed him to do it. Of course, we got Dark Horse with Sin City, Barb, The Mask, Martha Washington. This one is making me feel old. Dude, some of the stuff was the cream of the crop that rose during the 90s. Nexus, I mean, Concrete, Hellboy, good stuff. So basically, there's a nostalgic crowd on here. And they're talking about ROM in 2099. So basically, the animated shows, a lot of talk about ROM. MSTK, nice. Mystery Science Theater. Talking about banners and collages. A lot of talk about ROM on here. And again, some of the stuff I'm already down to October. So, some of these boards have really slowed down. Again, just the fact that they're still around really just amazes me. Nexus. Bon Jovi can't sing anymore without Richie. That's from Mr. Gretzky 9966. Okay, I'm not going to argue with that. Was Skate Man on there? No, I did not see Skate Man, but I tell you what, I love Skate Man's cowl. His bandana tied around his head. Oh, there's Grimjack. No, that's no Skate Man. And then we have Howard Chaykin's American flag on here. Oh, who was this? Was that the Badger? Is that the Badger? I know he was batshit crazy. And a lot of Mike Grell stuff right in here. So nice. Ghostbusters, Green Hornet. I don't know what that's on the 90s. Was there a Green Hornet book through Now Comics? Yeah, I remember it now. So that's kind of cool, man. I kind of wish this one would take off a little bit again. Oh, no Skate Man, though. So let's look at one more. I might do another live show here. Let's see what we have here. Marvel, Game of Thrones, a Community Channel, Avengers, Batman, Black Panther, Captain America, Green Lantern, the Hulk, Iron Man, JLA, movies, Spider-Girl. Spider-Girl is still going. Right there was Spider-Man, Star Trek, Transformers, Thor, Titans, The Walking Dead, Villains, Wonder Woman, and the X-Universe. Yep, that's the Badger. That's what I thought. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jared. And let's go to the Villains board. This will be the last one. And you know what? Since this internet is working, I'm going to throw it out there. After I do this last one, and I talk here and stuff, if anybody wants to try to jump on here and do a live show, I'll start another event and probably post the link on Twitter or something if you guys want to jump on here. But that's completely dependent if anybody even wants to do it. So I got a few hours to kill. I think I'm doing a live show on Owen Neal's channel after 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tonight if I'm still up. So yeah, I'm sticking around the house tonight. It's cold as can be up here tonight. Okay, the Villains message board. Let's go back and look at that. Yep, Flash versus Grodd from the television show. Nice, nice. I was always for the Villains. I always thought they were, we've heard it all before. They're more interesting characters, more complex, and just I've always kind of pulled for the Villains. I mean, why can't Doctor Doom kind of take over the world? Okay, see what else we got here. Going on down here, looking at this. Okay, we got topics like the most underestimated Marvel villain, questions, 2000 to 2010s comic villains that you like, Marvel Comics Universe Rogues galleries. Did someone say something about Grodd, Arrowverse villain? Okay, so they're talking about TV shows. Apparently, it's just anywhere and everywhere that there's a villain. You can put them on here. TV shows, comic books, movies, everything. Who would you like to crash a party? What villain would you want to come up and just crash a party? So yeah, there we go. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, like I said, I just wanted to kind of jump back there and check out this comic boards page. See, kind of an old stomping ground internet-wise. And I don't know. I might play around with it and stuff. I don't know. I know I won't be that active on it anymore, but it'll be kind of cool to kind of just pop in here and see what's going on. Okay, guys, let's check the live chat one more time. And looks like that might be it. So, here, guys. And who knows, maybe there might be another live show tonight, or just go ahead and message me or something if somebody wants to jump on here. Okay, guys, thanks for bouncing in here. Later.